$400,000 in college scholarships while sharing economic principles of the Big Five of money with students and their families. Parkside EDC partners with organizations like the Brotherhood Crusade to assure our youth have the financial acumen to succeed. Parkside EDC provides families and businesses with financial insights, offering free online, on-site, and on-air B-Warp presentations. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Programs helps our community acquire, sustain, and pass down legacy wealth. High school seniors can apply for this year's scholarship awards at parksideedc.org. Scholarships will be awarded at Parkside EDC's Gospel/Jazz Brunch on Sunday, April the 27th. For details, tickets, or donations, please visit parksideedc.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Live from historic Leimert Park in Los Angeles, California, I'm Tavis Smiley, and I'm so glad to see you and me back in stride again. Before we get started with today's show, let me invite you to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at The Real Tavis Smiley, and get updates on X, that's formerly Twitter, at Tavis Smiley. By the way, should you miss any part of today's program or want to catch up on previous shows, you can always visit thetavismiley.show.com. That's thetavismiley.show.com, or wherever you get your podcast, and listen to the Tavis Smiley podcast version of this live program at your leisure. Another great show on tap for you today. In our second hour, two conversations. Up first, two-time Emmy-winning writer and documentarian Gianna Tobani unpacks her new book, The Volunteer: The Failure of the Death Penalty in America and One Inmate's Quest to Die with Dignity. So the book tells the harrowing story of Scott Dozier, who sought to expedite his execution in Nevada back in 2007. You may recall this story. He volunteered, in fact, for lethal injection. But then a series of unusual events led his death date to be scheduled and rescheduled, planned, and then stayed. It is a riveting story. Gianna Tobani traces the story's twists and turns and draws her own conclusions about the death penalty in America. I think it's fair to say that no matter where you stand on its morality, there is no denying that the death penalty is a failing institution. And as I say that, I'm looking at my monitor right now. There is breaking news at this hour that the U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi has just announced that the government is going to seek the death penalty for Luigi Mangione, who murdered, as you know, Brian Thompson, the United Healthcare CEO. So here we are in our second hour today, the top of the second hour, talking about the death penalty as a failing institution. And at this very hour, the U.S. Attorney's Office, the Justice Department, I should say, has announced that they are, in fact, going to seek the death penalty for Luigi Mangione for the murder of Brian Thompson. We'll do that on the B side, the top of hour 2. On the B side of hour 2, just in time for the final 4, a conversation with Dr. Deborah Haskins, lecturer at Johns Hopkins and president emerita of the Maryland Council on Problem Gambling. We will talk about the latest research on problem gambling and its impact specifically on families. In our third hour, 2 more conversations. Up first, DJ Spinderella, founding member of Salt and Pepper, on her helping to unveil the new public housing museum in Chicago later this week. Spinderella's busy. We'll talk to her on the top side of hour 3. On the B side of hour 3.
I agree with Bateman. Dollars to donuts. Daniel Siddiqui got on a private jet, flew to Mexico, and is having plastic surgery as we speak. And oh, is his wife ever going to be pissed? Unless, of course, she's joining up with him later when the smoke clears.
Okay, but why pull that kind of a stunt at a party, right? We got 50 potential witnesses. Any which one of them could have seen him go over the side. No. If you're gonna fake your own death, you do it on a business trip to Thailand, or you go out on a sunrise paddleboard and never come back.
Graf, if you're still thinking murder, then find me a body.
Island Control just said no private planes left last night. There were 2 Thursday, but none last night or this morning.
Inspector Holness, they still searching the west side?
Yeah, something about the currents.
Well, it's the Coriolis effect, obviously.
That flash storm at 4 a.m., now it came in from the south. It's possible that the gyre could have shifted clockwise for an hour or so, then switched back. Yeah, let's go east, search the bluffs. Cherry Beach, Woodbine.
I take it you want me to call it in.
I do, ma'am.
On the B side of our 3, SAG award-winning actress Karen Robinson on her role as the boss lady detective on Law & Order Toronto, Criminal Intent. Can I just say, I ain't mad at Dick Wolf. They got more Law & Order spinoffs than Mary J. got videos. So Dick Wolf is still doing it. Now it's Law & Order Toronto, Criminal Intent, and we'll talk to the sister boss, Karen Robinson, when we get to the B side of hour 3. In this first hour, when we come forward, we'll talk politics as we typically do with the senior national correspondent for Black Press USA, Stacey Brown. As you may know, maybe you don't know, Cory Booker, a senator from New Jersey, is now in his 17th hour of a filibuster in the U.S. Senate. Cory is still speaking as I speak right now. This program is syndicated. We're heard in different times across the country, but as I sit in L.A. right now for this live show, Cory Booker is now in hour 17 of his filibuster. He has been at that podium for 17 hours, disrupting Senate business to make his claim about how America is headed in the wrong direction in Trump 2.0. We will tap in and get some live sound from Cory Booker and commence our conversation with Stacey Brown of Black Press USA when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
From California to the Carolinas, everybody's listening to Tavis. More when we come forward.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Individual results may vary. Consult a doctor prior to use.
You've lost so much weight. How'd you do it?
I got medical treatment for weight loss through Zelty and lost 50 pounds. I struggled for the longest time, but Zelty makes it easy and affordable to get weight loss treatment 100% online. Zelty providers can prescribe FDA-approved weight loss medications clinically shown to help people lose weight, like Wegovy, Zepbound, and others.
I've heard those medications can help you lose weight, but aren't they expensive?
Zelty can help get the medication covered by insurance, so it's as little as $0 a month.
What if you don't have insurance?
No problem. Zelty may be able to help you get other GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% off the price of name brand medications.
I'm ready to start losing weight. How do I get started with Zelty?
Just text.
Text SUNNY to 200-300 to get started today with Zelty and see if weight loss medications like Wegovy and Zepbound are right for you. Don't wait. Text now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text SUNNY to 200-300. That's SUNNY to 200-300. SUNNY to 200-300.
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
The revolution will not be televised.
What's up? It is Killer Mike, also known as Michael Render, and I'm encouraging you to listen to more, not less, of Truth Time with Dr. Cornel West and Senator Nina Turner on KBLA Talk 1580.
Stories are power. The Black Land Lost Narrative Archive Project is an effort to collect, preserve, and amplify stories of Black land loss. It will form an invaluable resource for scholars, authors, historians, educators, storytellers, policymakers, and change agents who wrestle with issues of restitution, reparations, racial inequality in home ownership, and the racial wealth gap. Through documenting stories of Black land loss, the archive will help demonstrate the magnitude of what Black families have lost and will continue the national dialogue to encourage paths to restitution, rebuilding, and healing. Support the Black Land Lost Narrative Archive Project by visiting www.blacklandlost.org or by donating at www.blacklandlost.org/donate. Spread the word to inspire awareness, activism, leadership, and change. And join us in making a lasting impact. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
So the record, I just looked this up, the record, the longest speech ever in the Senate is 24 hours and 18 minutes. 24 hours and 18 minutes is the longest speech on the floor of the U.S. Senate. Cory Booker is now in hour 17. Cory has been talking all night long, literally overnight. His speech has been taking aim at the Trump administration as daylight came this morning and senators arrived for work. He has been taking questions, of course, from senators on the Senate floor. If you turn on C-SPAN, C-SPAN 3, I think it is, covers the Senate. C-SPAN 2, I think, covers the House. Anyway, if you got C-SPAN, you can turn it on and you can see Cory on the floor of the Senate. But he's 17 hours in, the black senator from New Jersey, holding up Senate business again to make his claims about how this Trump administration is taking America down a rabbit's hole. Let's listen to a couple of minutes of sound now from Cory Booker on the Senate floor.
Thank you, Senator. I'm hearing a lot of fear, a lot of anger. I'm hearing heads of hospitals say that this is outrageous, the threats to our hospitals in New Jersey. I'm hearing heads of critical health services tell me what the Medicaid cuts will mean to their organizations. I'm hearing from Catholic priests that are doing extraordinary things in service of their communities. I'm hearing from citizens who are veterans, who got fired from their jobs. I'm hearing from people, as I read letters from people who work in the Social Security agency, and what the chaos that's been created and the lack of the deteriorating service to seniors. I've heard from seniors who are terrified about what's being done to Social Security and how it might affect their lives. I'm hearing demands from our constituents, people demanding, Senator.
I know Cory Booker well, and I know Cory long enough to know he sounds tired. I can hear him. He sounds tired, and he ought to be. When you've been standing for 17 hours, I'm tired after 3 hours of doing this every day. Cory's doing it for 17 hours and counting. As I mentioned, the record is 24 hours and 18 minutes, but Cory having his say right now, holding up business on the Senate floor to opine on the Trump administration and all the failings and failures of this particular administration. Let me bring into the conversation now Stacey Brown, who I'm delighted to have on this program from Black Press USA. Stacey, how are you today, sir?
Hey, it is great, Tavis. Anytime I can talk with you or anybody can talk with you, it's a great conversation. I'm listening And so I'm eager to talk with you.
No, it's my honor to have you on. Thank you for your kind words. Let me just jump right in, and since I played some sound of Corey, what do you make of Corey and this 17-hour and counting speech on the Senate floor?
Well, first of all, I hope he gets past Ted Cruz. I think Ted Cruz had about 20 hours or so when he was filibustering Obamacare back in 2013, I think it was. But I think it's about the only tool that they have left in their belt, unfortunately, Tavis. And I also wonder why this wasn't employed when these nominations, all of these nominations was going through the Senate, and we know that just about every single nomination was totally unqualified.
Yeah, no question about the unqualified part. We'll get to that a little bit later in this hour. There are a number of things to talk about with Stacey Brown, including these layoffs that have started today. Many people woke up this morning and were surprised to know that they were told, surprised to find out that they didn't need to report to work today. We knew this was coming. These are these HHS cuts. This is RFKJR's Department, Health and Human Services, and there are 10,000 people who are being laid off at a moment like this, which makes absolutely no sense. We got measles. We got a measles epidemic going around the country right now, and we are, still trying to recover from the pandemic. And so here we are in this particular moment, and they're laying off 10,000 employees, many at the Centers for Disease Control. So I'll take Stacey's point, and we'll get to that a little bit later in this conversation. But here's my thing about the Cory thing, and I like Cory Booker. To me, and let me put it this way. I've been complaining for weeks now, for months now, frankly, about the fractured Democratic response to the Trump era. And I don't know that giving a speech for 17 hours, or if Cory continues to go and breaks the record of 24 hours and 18 minutes. Who's that record for? Who is that? Strom Thurmond. Thank you. So I mentioned earlier that the record is 24 hours and 18 minutes. It was Strom Thurmond of South Carolina. As we know, South Carolina has a black senator in Tim Scott. But it was Strom Thurmond who stood there for 24 hours and 18 minutes. And so back to my point, it doesn't matter on a certain level whether Cory goes for, 24 hours and 19 minutes to break the record. What Trump is doing. And the Democrats have been so scattered and so fractured, as I said, in their response to this particular moment, that what Cory's doing, with all due respect, is holding up the business of the Senate. I get that. But Cory can't stand there forever. At some point, he's going to pass out, or he's going to have, get to a point where he just stops talking. He'll know when that moment comes, I suspect. I hope he does, at least. So when all is said and done, literally more will have been said than done. So you make news. All the networks are covering this. Cory will be interviewed a lot for the next few days. Okay, I'm mad at Cory Booker. But ultimately, one could argue that this is just more spectacle. It's Democrats again engaged in spectacle. What does this have to do with advancing an agenda, with drawing a line in the sand, with offering an alternative plan? I mean, that's what I think people need. I mean, contrast what Cory's doing, and again, I am mad at Cory. Contrast what Cory Booker is doing with Bernie Sanders and AOC hitting the road, and thousands of people, I mean, tens of thousands of people showing up at these rallies to let their voices be heard. Now, before you tell me, let me just tell you, I say all the time, it's not either or, it's both and. So I'm not suggesting that what Cory is doing isn't the right thing to be doing on the Senate floor. He's raised some powerful issues as I've tapped in to hear what he's had to say over the last 17 hours here and there. But, and again, Bernie and AOC are out on the hustings with these rallies, this anti-oligarch rally, and I ain't mad about that either. But at the end of the day, what is the agenda? What do Democrats stand for? What are they advancing? And with all due respect to these tours and to these long speeches, one could look at this, Stacey, as just spectacle. That's just me playing devil's advocate. Your turn.
Oh, listen, as much as I would like to disagree with you, there's no way I can disagree with what you just said. It's 100% spot on. Even the tours. Where is the strategy? They knew this was coming. They knew it during the campaign trail. They knew it back in November when those results came in. And it seems like they still have not put a plan together. And this is so dreadful, Tavis. And obviously we're seeing the firings, as you mentioned. The inhumane way that they are firing people, the inhumane way that they are taking people into custody, claiming that they are here illegally, the inhumane stuff that they continue to do. And look, like you said, I'm not mad at Corey, but Corey, you could stand there for 40 hours. What are you going to accomplish? What is this going to accomplish? Absolutely zero. And, he wants to go down the record books, go down the record books. But what is going down now? What is going down with your constituents, with America in general?
Yeah.
I mean, you got people who voted for this stuff that are now saying that, oh my gosh, we didn't know. They did what you call the FAFO, and people are hurting, and they're only making it worse.
Yeah.
So what are they going to do about this? It's time. Maybe it's just time to admit that, hey, the Democrats, they never truly had your best interest in mind either. I mean, that's what they're giving, Tavis. And I'm not telling people to walk away from them. That's not my job to do. But I'm saying, we start to see the real deal when push comes to shove, as they say. Well, who's going to shove back? Who's going to push back?
Yeah.
And we haven't gotten any pushback yet.
Yeah, I take your point. And one can certainly make that argument. I'm not prepared to go that far. The Democrats don't have the best interest, and I'm not suggesting that you're at that line either. So I think it might be a bit much to say Democrats don't have the best interest of their constituency at heart. But one thing is abundantly clear: they ain't got a plan. They ain't got a plan. They ain't got a clue. Forget a plan. They ain't even got a clue at this point. And that's what's so problematic. So again, Corey is in his 17th hour and counting. Corey will get a lot of publicity out of this. Here we are talking about it, and everybody's talking about it, and they're covering it. So Corey,
Tavis,
yeah, sure.
I'm sorry. Let me suggest this too, though.
Sure.
We know that there was times when Democrats had the White House. A brief time they had the White House, the Senate, and the House.
Right.
Mitch McConnell led the Republican Party in the Senate. He was a minority party. Yet, somehow, they were able to still stop some things. They were still able to accomplish some things. And this is why many people are so disenchanted. This is just one reason, anyway. They are so disenchanted with the Democrats because they were able to get something done when they were in your position.
Yeah.
So do you have the will? Do you have, the backbone? And I hate to say Mitch McConnell to put him in such a good light, but do you have the backbone of a Mitch McConnell?
Yeah. See, I'm glad you went there. This is getting fascinating for me. It's not just the backbone of Mitch McConnell, but what Mitch McConnell has been known for, if you really followed his career. Nobody understands the arcane rules of the Senate like Mitch McConnell does. He for all these decades has done his homework on how to run the Senate, on how to get stuff done in the Senate, even when, to your point, you're in the minority. So I don't know that Democrats have anybody who is as studied as Mitch McConnell is on how to get things done in the Senate, number one. Chuck Schumer certainly is not. I can guarantee you that. It ain't Chuck Schumer. He ain't the answer to the prayer. So it's not Chuck Schumer, number one. But your comment raises a fascinating question for me. Are Republicans, okay, here I go getting in trouble. Are Republicans just that much smarter than Democrats?
I don't know that they're that much smarter as much as they're just so
more
much
strategic,
more devious.
Yeah,
strategic and devious. Well, strategic is a good word. I used devious as well. But listen, when you say strategic, I think about Roe v. Wade.
Right.
They have been after Roe v. Wade and have not given up
for
since
decades.
1973.
Yeah, exactly.
And they prevailed eventually.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're right. They are strategic and they don't give up.
Yeah.
And their agenda is so, for the most part, is so anti marginalized people, anti people of color, and others, right? But they still, no matter how diabolical it might be, they stay with it. They stick with it, and Democrats should be able to learn from that.
And why do you, since you went there, why do you think they haven't? Why do you think Democrats, after all these decades, have not learned better, dare I say it, from the Republican playbook?
Well, some may say it's kind of commendable, but here's the deal. You hear them say it. I heard Joe Biden on his way out of the White House say this. We have to do things the way civilly. Michelle Obama famously said, when they go low, we go high. Well, we've passed that time. It's time to get into the mud. Democrats refuse to get so deep in the mud. There's not so many AOCs and Jasmine Crockett's that you have, unfortunately, that are willing to get down in the mud. If you want to get down there, I can get down there. If you want to do it on a educational level, I can get there too. And that's Jasmine Crockett, that's AOC, and that's a few others, but it's not Democrats as a whole. They want to do everything above board, but they also want to do it in a way it's presidential, or it's statesmanly. And Republicans could care less about how things look. They just want to their agenda and get it done.
Yeah, I laugh every time somebody makes reference to that Michelle Obama line, because you know where I'm going here. Her famous line that when they go low, we go high. That worked for Michelle Obama until it didn't. when they went too low, Michelle just didn't show up, and so we know that story. She didn't show up for the Trump inauguration. She didn't show up to sit next to him at the funeral of Jimmy Carter. Right. So when they go low, we go high. Yeah, except when they go too low and they go so low again, Michelle just tapped out. She just didn't show up. So that line always makes me laugh because, again, it worked for Michelle Obama until it didn't. I digress on that. When we come forward with Stacey Brown, Stacey's made another comment that I want to probe. It actually made me think about something else. He mentioned AOC and he mentioned Jasmine Crockett, and there are many other names we can mention. But the Democrats, every time I talk to one of my Democratic friends, let me just put it out there, they're always bragging about the strong Democratic bench, that the Democrats got a much stronger bench than the Republicans do. Well, what does it matter if you got a stronger bench when you keep them on the bench? We're going to go there when we come forward on Tavis Smile.
This is getting good.
Yeah, man.
Tavis Smiley continues when we come forward.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know with BIN News. Voters in Wisconsin and Florida are heading to the polls today for key elections that could shift national power. Both parties have invested heavily, viewing these races as a referendum on the country's direction since Trump's victory. The federal government is reviewing nearly $9 billion in contracts with Harvard over the handling of anti-Semitism. Education Secretary Linda McMahon accuses the school of failing to protect students and promoting divisive ideologies amid protests against Israel. A lawyer for Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams is urging a judge to drop bribery charges before Thursday's deadline for June primary petitions. Adams denies wrongdoing, and his team is frustrated by the delay. And Hooters is filing for bankruptcy to facilitate a buyout by its founder, addressing nearly $400 million in debt. The chain will sell all company-owned restaurants to a franchise group backed by the founders. The BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Attention parents of high school sophomores, juniors, and seniors. CBU is offering one 8-week online general ed course, free of charge. Courses are online. There's no application fee, and the first class is free. Classes start May 5th. Apply now at calbaptist.edu/PCC.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
USC Nation will always believe that last night's NCAA tournament game against Connecticut would have had a different outcome with Juju Watkins on the floor. A marvelous season for the USC women's basketball team ended last night with a 78-64 loss to UConn in the Regional 2 final. USC finishes at 31-4, their best record in 42 years. UConn star Paige Beckers hurt USC with 31 points, 6 assists, and 4 steals. Center Rhea Marshall led USC with 23 points. A disappointing finish for senior forward Kiki Irvin, who the Trojans needed to help replace the loss of Watkins. After scoring 36 points against Mississippi State last week, Irvin made only 6 of 29 shots in the Trojans' last 2 games for a combined 17 points. She was 3 for 15 last night. UConn advances to the Final Four to play UCLA on Friday. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Ray Richardson, your sports connection here at KBLA Talk 1580. Join me and my co-host Neil Scarborough every Saturday night at 7 for Out of Bounds, the show that brings some flavor to the world of sports for 60 minutes. We take you beyond the scores and press conferences. We give you our point of view, the way black folks see what's going down. You can join the conversation and give us your analysis at 1-800-920-1580. Out of Bounds every Saturday night at 7 on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
You like the style, though.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
When you visit the San Diego Zoo Safari Park, the way you see the world begins to change. You realize that the more you encounter amazing species, the more you can't imagine a world without them. San Diego Zoo Safari Park. See conservation from a new perspective.
Hi, I'm Dominique DePrima, and it's almost time to celebrate KBLA's 4th anniversary, coming up Juneteenth 2025. We'll be marking the achievement with 4 key community events, including a special symposium, luncheon, and brain trust hosted by me entitled The State of Black Women in Los Angeles. Keep it locked here for details on how to join us for this groundbreaking symposium examining the unique challenges, triumphs, and contributions of Black women in Los Angeles in the areas of education, healthcare, community leadership, cultural and political contributions. This public convocation will provide a critical forum to address the specific social, economic, and political realities facing Black women in LA today. We'll go live with a radio broadcast and YouTube live stream, a public discussion, and a private dialogue with some of LA's most impactful women. It's an affirmation of Black women standing at the intersection of race and gender in times of adversity while demonstrating remarkable resilience and leadership. We will listen and we will speak out and be heard, all in service of finding opportunities and solutions. Please plan to join us in celebrating our 4th anniversary by amplifying the voices of Black women. For more on our symposium and 4 events celebrating 4 years on the air, simply stay tuned or keep an eye on KBLA1580.com and help make this Juneteenth more jubilant with all of us at KBLA Talk 1580.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know? The United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time. Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
Less monologue, more dialogue. Tavis Smiley continues right now.
Tavis Smiley and Stacey Brown of Black Press USA. Cory Booker still going. As I said, 17 hours and counting. He's filibustering and holding up the work of the Senate. Let's tap in for some more sound right quick of Cory Booker on the Senate floor.
People were writing me letters talking about they're losing sleep. They have so much anxiety because they only live on their Social Security check. And Brother Howard Luckman, who I know, and I don't know what he was thinking when he said it, a billionaire talking about his mother-in-law. I don't know what you were thinking, Howard. I just don't understand it, how you're saying if she misses a payment, she's okay, but if people complain, they're probably fraudsters. Do you understand how many millions of Americans only have that as their only protection between poverty and destitution? That if they miss a payment, they can't make their rent, they can't buy food? And so they've created so much insecurity, so much fear, and I compared it, Governor, I compared it to the difference between an FDR and a Donald Trump. FDR knew people were suffering. They knew people were afraid, and he stood before the American public and didn't lie to them, didn't attack people, didn't demean people, didn't degrade people. He comforted people. He allayed their fears. He inspired them.
Cory Booker apparently is inspiring a lot of other people. Stacey and I were talking about how this could be viewed as spectacle. But we just checked into the Associated Press's site, and there are all kinds of comments. People are inspired by Cory pushing back. And here's what that suggests to me. Again, while Stacey and I were talking about the fact that you could view this as spectacle, when all is said and done, we all know that more will have been said than done. It's just a speech. But this is why people are inspired, because they want to see somebody do something. There's your answer. They're inspired by Cory standing there and talking for 17 hours because they want to see somebody stand up and say something. Somebody stand up and do something. Let me pivot for a second here, and I'll get back to Stacey. I want to read something from the, this is, what is it, the LA Progressive? This is a piece in the LA Progressive. The headline reads, "The Democratic base wants smoke, not civility." The Democratic base wants smoke, not civility. Subtitle, subhead, "A major part of the base grew up watching Republicans bulldoze." That's what Stacey said earlier. We've seen this. We watched Republicans bulldoze every norm from the Tea Party to Trump. And we're done with the "when they go low, we go high" nonsense. I'm reading now from the LA Progressive. This isn't 1996. The base isn't looking for kumbaya moments with people who think their existence is up for debate. We're looking for leaders who fight. We want clapbacks, not caution. Nice phrase. We want clapbacks, not caution. We want receipts, not respectability. The MAGA base is out here treating politics like blood sport. And Democratic leaders are still acting like they're presiding over a Rotary Club meeting. Reading more from the LA Progressive. The energy has changed. The stakes have changed. But too many at the top still think they're leading a flock of folks their own age. Chuck Schumer, I added that part. Chuck Schumer part. When the real Democratic base is younger, more diverse, and ready to throw hands. Politically speaking, of course, throw hands. If Democrats want to win, we need leaders who understand that this isn't just about policies, it's about power. And power isn't won by being the bigger person in 2025. It's won by showing up, swinging, and making sure the other side knows that you're not scared. Frederick Douglass, remember the Frederick Douglass quote? Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never has and it never will. This is not about policies. this piece suggests. It's about power. And so you got Cory Booker at the podium, holding up the Senate business for 17 hours and counting, doing his thing. Anybody mad at Cory Booker? But does any of that resonate that I just read from the Progressive with you, Stacey, that Democrats want smoke? They don't want civility right about now. And that's why Chuck Schumer was catching hell and still is about that, about the Republican budget that they sort of caved on. Democrats want some smoke, Stacey.
Yeah, well, you in that Progressive article you read, they talked about what's at stake, our existence, people's existence. So you think about it, when your life's on the line, and literally, Tavis, this is not hyperbole. Folks' lives are on the line.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want somebody sitting back saying, "Okay, can we negotiate?" No, you're not going to negotiate with my life. I need somebody who's going to, if they use a machine gun, you're going to bring a tank out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I need somebody who's going to, like they said, throw hands. I know it was figurative.
Yeah, sure.
Throw some hands.
Throw some hands, yeah.
You know, and they're sitting back, like we said. Okay, Cory Booker is getting all of this great press or responses anyway on that Associated Press article. And he might get great responses all throughout social media.
Oh, yeah.
But the fact is, you are talking to people who are heartless. You are talking to people who are not moved in any. Think about what's way back, the Governor Wallace or whatever he was back then. Think about Jim Crow and that era.
George Wallace in Alabama, you mean?
George, right.
Yeah,
Think about those individuals who watched little Emmett Till get lynched over a lie. This is who you're talking to. And I'm talking about the MAGA folks.
Mm-hmm.
Corey's talking to those folks. Are you expecting them to be moved?
Mm.
That's why it's performative more than anything else. And again, like you, I like Cory Booker.
Yeah.
But you got to do something. They had this idea, Tavis, not long ago, you know, when the Republicans were going back, having their town halls, and even their people was turning against them. And I heard AOC say that we're going to those districts. Well, that could be a good part of the strategy, if they had a strategy. Flood their districts.
Mm-hmm.
Take your people with you. You know, that might be one of many tools that you can use, but you gotta show some fight. You can't stand up in Congress or the Senate, in my opinion, and speak for 17, 20 hours or whatever to these people who have absolutely no feelings. Those folks are in the twilight zone. You can't reach them.
You can't reach them. But and to your point, I think performative is an accurate word. We've called it spectacle. We've called it performative. Again, we love Cory Booker. Anybody mad at Cory? But what Cory is showing, let me give me some credit here now. I think, Stacey, what Cory is showing is that part of the challenge Democrats face is leading a resistive movement without a cheerleader, without a clear leader. Call it cheerleader, call it clear leader. Now it sounds like Jesse Jackson rhyming, right? So you call it cheerleader or you call it clear leader. You can't lead a resistive movement without somebody being out front. And you've got AOC and Bernie, as we said earlier, on these tours, but you got Cory now, you know, holding it down in the Senate, and people are responding to this, performative though it may be. But that was my earlier point, that even though it is primarily performative, people are responding to it, and they're getting all ginned up by Cory's long speech because they want somebody to step out and say something, somebody to step up and do something, Stacey. That's why they're responding to Cory, not because Cory's giving a brilliant speech per se. Cory's tired, 17 hours. I ain't mad at the brother. He's still going strong, but they want somebody to stand up. They want to fight back. As we said, they want some clap back. And that's what Cory in this moment with just a simple speech represents, Stacey.
Well, they also, I think that one of the things that they need to start with, and I know for some it's unpopular, but Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and even our friend James Clyburn, I think it's time to say we need to bow out and hand this over to the young.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought. Now you're on to the point we were discussing earlier that we said we were going to get to. It ain't got to quite yet. We will when we come forward, and that is if the Democrats keep bragging about how strong their bench is. I mean, it's like the NBA, right? Or the NC2A. Doesn't matter. You know, if you got a strong bench, but they never get off the bench, then what does it mean to have a strong bench? And that's what the Democrats are doing. They got a strong bench, but to the point that Stacey just made, there are other folk out front who really ain't trying to get out the way to let these bench players show what they have. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Generous listening. Charitable listening. It's why everybody wants to talk to Tavis. The conversation continues when we come forward.
Progressive knows we all crave validation.
Girl, you are not 37.
I would have guessed 27.
You guys are too sweet.
Sure, dewy skin. Terrific.
Is something wrong, Ned?
Why would you ask? Just because today marks my 10th anniversary without a car accident or even a speeding ticket? But somehow, tonight's all about your skincare.
Wow. With Snapshot from Progressive, you can get a personalized rate based on how you drive. And that's all the validation you need. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well-trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach, transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prisons. Their goal, prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC in creating change. When we fight, we win. KBLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
More honesty than you can handle. More empowerment than you can imagine. You're tuned in to Tavis Smiley.
You are indeed. I'm only 1 hour into the program, not even 50 minutes at this point. But this is the funniest thing I've seen so far. I see all your comments. I'm following you. I read you. I see you. I feel you. I hear you. This is funny, though. Somebody sent me a message, sent us a message that said, the old line Democratic leaders are like bench please. That's funny. The old line Democratic leaders are like, bench, please. They ain't thinking about this bench. All right. Miles, my board op, said something to me during the break that got my attention as well. I love extending the metaphor about the bench. What did you say, Miles?
I'm saying, who's the coach to even put the bench players in the game? When you down 30, 40 points, as a punishment, you pull the starters off the court and say, you know what, y'all sit down, y'all embarrassing us, give these young guys a chance. Who's the coach? Where's the coach at?
Stacey?
Oh my goodness, what a great point. And let me tell you something. I'm a New York Knicks fan. I'm a New Yorker. And Coach Tom Thibodeau is really blasted a lot for not playing his bench at all.
Mm-hmm.
So this whole metaphor is really, really resonating. And what your man just said there, exactly. When the starters are embarrassing you,
that's right.
You gotta make a move.
That's right. That's right. And to your point, there are some folk that don't want to stand down, don't want to get out the way. And so the Democratic Party, I mean, here's my point. Save me. Stop. When you see me in the street, stop telling me, I don't want to hear no more, that the Democrats got a strong bench. I'm going to say bench, please. I don't want to hear nothing about their strong bench if you're not going to give them a chance to play. And that's part of the problem here. And again, in case you just tuned in, Cory Booker is still going on the floor of the United States Senate, and he has people tuning in and checking him out and responding to him because why? The Democratic base is so desperate for somebody to stand up and fight back. When we fight, we win. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Why does Tavis say when we come forward?
Because he's not going back.
And you don't have to go back either. Forward ever, backward never. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada, member FDIC.
Before the fire, Altadena was a real-life Wakanda. A thriving black oasis just 15 miles from downtown Los Angeles. 80% black residents were homeowners, building intergenerational wealth against the odds. It was a hub of black-owned businesses, churches, and cultural institutions. It stood as a symbol of black resilience and economic independence. Then, in a matter of hours, it was gone. The fire tore through homes, swallowed businesses, and left behind a painful void. But was it just an unstoppable act of nature, or was negligence involved? Did officials ignore early warning signs? Were the response efforts delayed or insufficient? What role, if any, did corporate or government failures play? Survivors are demanding answers. Don't miss our KBLA Talk 1580 Town Hall. The Eden Altadena Fire, 100 days and counting. On Wednesday, April 16th, 4 to 6 p.m. at the Robinson Park Recreation Center, 1081 North Fair Oaks in Pasadena. Join Dominic DePrima, Nee Cordelai Corte, James Farr, Tavis Smiley, and a panel of survivors, community leaders, and experts as we commemorate Day 100 since the wildfires flared up. And we discuss where we go from here. It's KBLA's Eden Altadena Fire, 100 days and counting Town Hall. Wednesday, April 16th, 4 to 6 p.m. at the Robinson Park Recreation Center in Pasadena. Light refreshments to follow. Admission is free, but sign-up is required at our KBLA1580.com website. This is a community call to action, brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and Quinn Emanuel Trial Lawyers. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
It's me, Olay Indulgent Moisture Body Wash. I see those dry elbows, baby. But don't worry, get moisturized right in the shower. So hydrated you can skip the lotion after.
Don't wanna see it dry no more. Skin so moisturized with body wash.
Look at you now, no more dry skin. Your skin gets the moisture it craves with
Olay Indulgent Moisture Body Wash.
Helping to make you the most knowledgeable person in your circle of friends. This is Tavis Smiley.
Tavis, Smiley, and Stacey Brown of Black Press USA. Here's more evidence, Stacey, that Corey has hit a nerve. I'm on the AP site right now, and I obviously don't have C-SPAN ratings in real time or numbers, but there are almost 40,000 people right now just watching on the AP site. And the comments are going faster than I can even read them. But I'm looking at Corey live right now. He's standing there. He looks strong. We were just joking in studio. If he's going to break this record of 24 hours and 18 minutes set by Strom Thurmond, we said we hope he drank his sea moss, because Gatorade ain't going to get you there. You're going to need some sea moss and something else, something to get him to 24 hours. He's only at 17 now, but he's looking strong. He's moving and. I'm watching it right now. Corey's still going at it. Again, the fact that people are responding to this just means that this Democratic base, they want something. They want something, Stacey. They're desperate. And Corey has put himself out there. We will see what the impact of this is whenever this thing ends. But for the moment, the business of the Senate, United States Senate, is being held up as Cory Booker continues to make his claim. Now, I was just saying to Miles and Faraji, my team in the studio here, part of what will allow Corey to break this record of 24 hours and 18 minutes is if he does what he's doing now, which is to continue to take questions and commentary from his colleagues. So he's talking back and forth with senators now who are on the floor, and that gives you a little energy, because now you're not just there overnight he was there by himself. I mean, after midnight, you out there by yourself just talking to an empty room. But now he's got company. And I said earlier, I can tell, knowing Corey, that he sounded a little tired to me, but this energizes you. As I said, I'm watching him right now live. He's moving around that podium. He's gesticulating. He's into it. But he has people now who he's arguing with and debating with, and other senators coming to the floor, Democrats, to support him. So he's having his moment, Stacey Brown. I got 90 seconds, so I'll give the last word to you, sir.
Well, again, this is it is a moment. There are people who want to see a movement instead of a moment.
That's right.
It's not to take anything away from Corey, but nobody wants their ears tickled right now. They want action.
Wow. How about that? Mic drop. Nobody wants their ears tickled right now. They want action. Said Stacey Brown. That's why he's a great writer for Black Press USA. That's how you do it. To your point about movement, I've said many times, and I repeat again, that movements in this country are very rare. Very rare. For that matter, movements in the world are rare. When you think about the expanse of human history, movements are very rare. I call it the 3 M's. You start with a moment. That moment builds momentum, and the momentum turns into a movement. Moment, momentum, and movement. What we have from Cory Booker right now is a moment. We will see if it or the tours that Bernie Sanders and AOC are doing, if these moments can build some momentum. And if these moments collectively can build some momentum, you might have a shot at a movement breaking out. I ain't gonna hold my breath on it. I quote that great philosopher Stacey Brown. Nobody want their ears tickled right now. They want some action. No. Stacey Brown, good to have you on, my friend. All the best. You would do it again.
The great Tavis Smiley, appreciate you.
You are kind, brother. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know with BIN News. Voters in Wisconsin and Florida are heading to the polls today for key elections that could shift national power. Both parties have invested heavily, viewing these races as a referendum on the country's direction since Trump's victory. The federal government is reviewing nearly $9 billion in contracts with Harvard over the handling of anti-Semitism. Education Secretary Linda McMahon accuses the school of failing to protect students and promoting divisive ideologies amid protests against Israel. A lawyer for Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams is urging a judge to drop bribery charges before Thursday's deadline for June primary petitions. Adams denies wrongdoing, and his team is frustrated by the delay. And Hooters is filing for bankruptcy to facilitate a buyout by its founder, addressing nearly $400 million in debt. The chain will sell all company-owned restaurants to a franchise group backed by the founders. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.